This new event came with some confusing stuff, some Titanfall stuff, and some hidden stuff. So let's take a look at it. Because still a week on, a lot of stuff in this event hasn't been covered. There's one thing I must cover though. With this new update, a new legend became the most picked legend in the game. And they did it by a long way. And this is Loba. Still, a week after the updates come out, she is at an 18.3% pick rate. This is because she now has 2 bracelets. She has some crazy upgrades like the one that literally allows her to heal when coming out of her bracelet, and another that speeds up her bracelet animations. Another thing a lot of you may not realize is that Respawn actually reverted one of the nerfs they did in the patch notes. You may remember in last week's patch notes, Respawn said they are nerfing tap strafe, and they did it. A lot of people got very mad, a lot of important people like big movement creators, so Respawn decided to reverse the nerf, while also dropping the craziest diss to some movement players. In the tweet explaining them reversing the tap strafe nerf, Respawn said, "We just reverted the change that negatively impacted tap strafing. For movement aficionados, feedback and feel around movement systems are critical. There are legitimate skill expressions that we intend to preserve. Our goal is to continue to combat automated workarounds and degenerate play patterns, which includes some advanced movement tech that warps combat in unhealthy ways." They are definitely talking about neo strafing here. I mean, if this isn't a degenerate play pattern, I don't know what is. They also said this change affected more than we intended. We continue to seek external input and you can expect a more elegant solution in the future. So tap strafe is still going to see a change, but not the one Respawn did. I just find it absolutely hilarious that they actually called this way of playing Apex degenerate. Like, Respawn must really seethe and hate this movement right here. And I agree, if I see someone doing this in game, it genuinely like makes me angry. It's probably really unhealthy that it does that, but I get mad. Moving on though, a lot of people realize something weird right here. Can you see the new thing? Well, in fact, all of it's a new thing. For some reason, Respawn decided to update Caustic's model. He is essentially now Caustic Remastered. Here are the exact changes. As discovered by this Twitter user here, Respawn actually made his goggles much darker. Also, his pipes and cylinders are now a much darker colour and don't contrast against his underlayer. His arm strap is now red instead of yellow. His clothes that he's wearing under the lab suit aren't tattered anymore. They look very, very clean. His apron is now slightly cleaner, and the tape on the loincloth pocket is now yellow. The person who discovered this assumed Respawn did this to catch Caustic up with some of the modern legends, because the new legends like Alter and Conduit are very clean. They don't have any visible wear on their clothes, and they don't show many signs of wear. But when Apex came out, a lot of the legends had much more worn clothes. You could see visible damage, and also the models were slightly less detailed than they are these days. So if all of the OG legends went through some sort of small cleanup on their base models, it wouldn't surprise me, but new Caustic looks pretty clean. I like him. Although for me, I see this as Apex moving far away from the Titanfall art style, as a lot of the characters in Titanfall did have clear signs of wear on their armor, or even bits where they clearly just taped stuff onto their armor. But I guess this is the direction Apex is going into, especially with its skins. Along with new little changes, we also got a new animation, but a lot of people are confused to if Respawn just added this or we only just noticed it. This animation requires 2 things, Alter and also the Karambit, and can be activated if you simply go idle in the firing range with Alter while holding the Karambit. Essentially, she does this. She bounces it off her tail and does a little trick. This is probably part of the secret animations Respawn were talking about, where they said legends have legend specific animations on the Karambit, and this is one of them. It does make me wonder if Respawn just added this, or it really took us this long to discover this animation. And also makes me wonder how many more animations with the Karambit are still undiscovered. It kind of worries me. One thing we are sure came with the update though is a load of new Rift relics, and one is actually just straight up from Titanfall 2. You may remember back in Titanfall 2 there was a boost kit called Phase Rewind, and you know, it's self-explanatory. When you activated it, you would rewind through the void into a position you were previously at, and in Titanfall it wasn't majorly effective because it took so long to activate, and also it took you such a short distance. But in a game like Apex, it works way better because Apex is a bit slower paced, and also you have moments where you can actually activate things. And honestly, it works so well. This is me first trying it out, and then I tried to really juke some enemies with it. I was getting followed up this balloon tower and decided when I landed I would activate my phase rewind and screw over the enemies who were chasing me. Unfortunately, when I rewinded back to the tower, the enemies were only just going onto it, so I did expose myself. Regardless, I guess this is a good use case of this ability. Also, there's a new boost kit called Fully Upgraded, and I assumed it would just allow you to choose 2 upgrades, but it actually chooses every single upgrade for you, which is insane because you get 4 upgrades, you know, 4 upgrades. So this is really good on some certain legends who have very powerful perks that are hard to choose between, like Loba. I tested it on Revenant and Wraith, and it's pretty fun honestly, and it will give you an edge. Also, there is a smoke boost kit, which just deploys smoke whenever you get shot at. Once again, this one doesn't feel like it has too much impact, but it does work. Also, in the updated Rift Relics, we got 2 insane weapons that are definitely being overlooked. The Relic Sentinel and Rampage, which are both permanently charged, which is insane. This means you can just shoot doors off whenever you want with a Rampage, or hit people for decent damage with the Sentinel. Also, in the Rift Relics, we got the Devotion EMP, and many people were confused to how this would work, but essentially from using it myself, I think whenever you crack a shield on an enemy while using the Devotion EMP, the enemy you crack will give off an EMP which will affect their teammates. At least that's what I can tell. I've not been shot with it, I don't really know how it works too well. There were a few new things added to the Rift Relics in this update, but those are my favorites, and these second round of Rift Relics are definitely the more powerful ones. Luckily though, Rift Relics aren't active in Ranked. Speaking of Ranked, Respawn pushed out a patch for Ranked last night where they said, we recently identified an issue that was causing a discrepancy between RP earns and promotions in Ranked matches, and we're in the process of rolling out to fix and correct the issue and restore the accounts to the intended ranks. So if you had an issue with Ranked, it's gonna get fixed. Respawn did also fix a Mirage exploit where with his new invisibility buff, you could activate it even when you were using weapons and you could become the invisible menace. I mean, as cool as this glitch is, I'm glad that Respawn patched it because fighting invisible enemies is not fun. Here's something though that I've never noticed before, but someone brought up recently, and I don't know if this is new or pretty old, but Maggie now has a special Akimbo Mozambique reload animation where she does this. It's nothing flashy, but I never previously noticed it, and I usually have my finger on the pulse of new animations. Speaking of new stuff, yesterday the stores refreshed, and also the Astral Anomaly reward store refreshed. And bad news, there is no free event pack in the reward store, which sucks. We also got a refresh of the actual store. We got a new weird double skin pack, just a pack that contains 2 types of skins and a few other items. It contains the Mecha Melon Pathfinder skin and also the Noir Pathfinder skin recolored, which has a special select animation. So if you really want a Pathy special select animation, don't buy the pack, just straight up buy the skin. I don't know how well these packs are selling, I would really love to see. We also got a refresh of the store just straight up called Recolors. You can probably guess what this contains. And we got a new free pack in the Rift Relic challenges where you must hit someone from further than 150 meters away with the Relic Charge Rifle or the Relic Sentinel. Considering the Relic Charge Rifle literally is the Season 3 Charge Rifle, its hit scan is going to be super easy to hit people far away. This is easy to do, like really easy. And recently we got a new comic animation. Respawn posted this to their Twitter, or you can watch it in game. It progresses the lore a bit, and recently a few people have made videos like 2024 Apex lore recap, and the lore has got so stale and it really sucks, especially as somebody who used to have passion for it. So I hope to see this definitely ramp up soon. But this new update did come with some cool little secrets, so I'm a big fan of that. But what do you think?